What are we gonna do with them?
We don't have time to take prisoners.
So you're just gonna shoot him?
I haven't decided yet.
That's not just up to you.
I'm the ranking officer.
And we're not in your army.
These prisoners could be useful to us. But if you kill them, we'll never know.
I can live with that.
Well, I can't.
You're an engineer, not a soldier. This is clearly my territory.
You think you have enemy combatants here? This is a hostage situation. Each one of them has an innocent life inside. I'll keep watch on them.
As will I. We can't let our guard down around the enemy.
Petty Officer Diaz and I will figure out how to stop the ship.
Let's hurry. The rest of the Takan could show up any minute. Crystals. They're all over this place. Huh.
Careful where you point that thing.
It's not active. I can't see any way this would work as a weapon. It's dead.
Out of ammo?
I'm not sure. Everything under control?
Yes, these Takan haven't made a move. Yet.
And what you're doing is working.
There's plenty more I can do. But it doesn't have to be that way. As long as they behave.
Any trouble?
Don't worry about me. Worry about Stretch over there.
Why?
He's looking for any excuse to vaporize the prisoners. But I'll make sure he doesn't. Even if they're the enemy, it's not right.
I'm here if you need a hand.
Just hurry up and figure out this bridge. That's the best way to help.
Gotta figure this out before we get wherever we're going. If the Resolute can't catch up to us, we're in a whole different kind of trouble. These crystals are Takan technology. They seem to be active, just like the rest of their tech. Tetrametric pulses.
Tetrametric?
It's the energy signature of Takan technology. Everything they make gives off this type of radiation.
They're blocking the input. It's not responding at all. Everything I try, it just ignores me.
I thought you had the access codes needed to take control back.
I should, but I can't actually get to the surface, so I can't enter them here. Maybe there's somewhere else I can try.
There are two interfaces on top of each other.
This is not Lydian programming.
This console looks unaffected. Engine's a red line, running at full power. But this main drive manifold is spiking way over nominal levels.
Very dangerous.
Even at 100% output, the warp cores wouldn't push this much plasma to the drive section.
That much reactor output would drive us past the theoretical top speed of this ship. So how fast are we actually going?
Where's the captain?
Captain Ostego did not survive the atmosphere poisoning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He died defending the Empire. That's how he'd want it.
Look here. It's navigational data.
We saw that already. Headed to the edge of the galaxy.
It's only a display. We couldn't use it to change course or alter speed.
We're gonna be there in less than an hour.
We can't let that happen.
Hold on, it would take days to go this distance with our fastest ship. We're traveling at a warp factor many times greater than this ship should even be capable of. Even with the engines pushed as hard as they are, they wouldn't produce this speed.
Whether it's these crystals or the power from the Cartabula, the Takan have found a way to increase the engine output and top speed. We have to find a way to hit the brakes before we outrun anyone who could help us.
We stop it, so they can't get this ship where they're going, and enact the next phase of their plan. That is, if they don't destroy us all first. I would have thought this ship would disintegrate going this speed. But somehow, that hasn't happened yet.
That's just two sides of the same coin.
It's what?
Either way, we both want to stop the Zeldi.
Ah, yes. And we will find a way to do it.
I hate to think what the Cartabula could do if it was plugged into something it was meant to power. It's the Takan language.
From what I can tell, the ship's systems are actively responding to input.
Which is the opposite of how most bridges work. They usually send commands, not receive them.
It's from an intrusive program. This control station won't do us any good either. What have they done to this bridge?
Consoles running themselves, some clogged up with crystals that are sending off tetrametric pulses.
But none of this is sending signals outward. It's receiving.
They're flying the ship from somewhere else.
That should be impossible. But it explains why there's less than a full bridge crew. If they aren't flying the ship from the bridge, where are they controlling it from?
That's everything. We got some answers.
I don't like what they tell us, though.
If we can learn nothing else, then what's left is to make these Takan talk. And if they don't, we'll dispose of them.
Hey, that's not how we do this.
That is enough from you. I thought that thing was useless.
It was! No power! Until he touched it. The weapons must be bio-coded.
Our technology will only work for one of our kind.
I can assure you, this weapon works just fine for me.
Slow down, Arminta.
You can't control this ship with a disruptor.
But I can use it to control you.
Ah!
The Titan's communications officer says Captain Riker will be ready in just a moment. You need to see this. The report on the data breach.
Damn. It's worse than I'd hoped. They didn't just compromise our shields. They stole the shield algorithms for all of Starfleet as well. Meaning every ship is potentially vulnerable to attack, making this so much worse than it already was.
Given the potential consequences, we should notify Starfleet as soon as possible.
I don't disagree, but I'll reach out to Ambassador Spock about it. I don't want to cause a panic, and I doubt he does either.
I have Captain Riker for you.
Let's not mention any of this shield business to Riker just yet. Put him through. Captain Riker, this is my first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
My pleasure.
Sir.
I wish we were all meeting under better circumstances.
So do I, although you and I have actually met before.
We have.
I was a young lieutenant on the Potemkin. You were first officer on the Tuckerman. I piloted you and our science officer in a shuttle to survey quantum resonance in the planetary rings of Resurgence 6.
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
You know, he gave me some good advice that day about a very difficult job. Yours.
Well, I'm not one to turn down some words of wisdom, sir.
And let me ask, as first officer on a starship, where does your responsibility lie, first and foremost? To the captain, the crew, or the ship itself?
Oh, this old chestnut. I am curious to hear what she says, though.
Ultimately, my responsibility is to the crew at large.
The needs of the many. You have been hanging around Ambassador Spock. But the truth is, it's a trick question. Every situation is different, and there are no easy answers. And in some cases, it might not be any of those three. It could be the prime directive. Or the mission.
Yes, so perhaps we should get to the matter at hand. When you were with the Enterprise, you encountered a Takan entity known as Portal 6-3. The Enterprise was held captive in orbit until you were able to convince him to let the ship go.
All of which is detailed in the mission report.
What we want from you is what we can't get from the report. What can we use to get Portal 6-3 to help us?
I've often thought about that over the years. How a small difference in the encounter could have led to disaster. The most important thing is, don't let him push you around. He can appear as a man or as a godlike projection. He'll test you, but don't be overwhelmed by the pageantry and theatrics.
Are you sure about that? I don't want to anger him.
No, you certainly do not. With a wave of his hand, he could clip your wings and cripple the Resolute. Portal is full of bluster and bravado, but he can be reasoned with. And that's my other piece of advice. You want to appeal to him rationally. You don't want him thinking you're acting out of fear.
But we are afraid of the Takan, and with good reason.
He's not the sort to suffer fools. And he'll lose interest if he feels his time is being wasted.
I suppose that's one thing we have in common.
Do you think he knows that the Takan have returned?
He didn't even know they were gone when we went there. But the moment the Enterprise dropped into orbit around Delphi Ardu 4, he downloaded the entirety of the ship's computer. So I'd expect the same when you get there.
What if he won't cooperate and we have to face these Takan ourselves?
Then we have a much bigger problem on our hands.
What I mean is, in the 16 years since you discovered this outpost, there has to have been research. Battle plans for what to do about the Takan if we encountered more of them. I need to know what they are.
If I had that answer, it would have been the first thing I told you.
We both know Command has had their share of hidden plans in the past. Like Admiral Hansen and Captain Shelby's Special Projects Division at Starfleet Tactical, devising new ways to take on the Borg.
Trust me, this isn't some Starfleet conspiracy to keep you in the dark. But if you two don't think you're equipped to make contact, you need to tell me now. Because there is no silver bullet here. Now's not the time to hesitate. I need to know you're up to this.
You're not the only one who's met the Takan anymore. We've faced them in combat. We're not just the right ones for the job. We're the only ones.
All right. Asked and answered. There was a special task force that considered the Takan, and I was part of it. But because there were no other signs of the Empire, we determined the best course of action was to create a restricted zone around the Delphi-Ardu system. I have my concerns, but I'll clear the way with the brass for your travel into the restricted space. Just remember what I've told you. And it wouldn't hurt to read some Sun Tzu en route. Or Marcus Aurelius.
Anything else?
Machiavelli?
Thank you for your support, Captain Riker.
I wish I could be there myself. But my first officer would probably see to it that I stay on the bridge while they get all the excitement on the away mission. The burdens of command. Rest assured, the Federation is taking this threat very seriously. You won't be alone out there for too long.
Thank you, Captain Riker.
One more thing. Ambassador Spock said that Takan stole some data from your central computer. What's that all about?
We're still assessing the extent of the breach. Nothing to report as of right now.
That's it? Ambassador Spock suggested it was something more serious, which is why I'm asking.
We have our best people sorting it out. It's under control.
Okay. If I may, I recommend you keep Starfleet Command looped in very closely on that matter. There's a lot riding on this. And if it comes to it, the Titan and I will be ready to personally lend a hand in this fight.
Let's hope it doesn't get that far.
Riker out.
Thank you for not getting too specific with Riker about the data breach. Better we handle this ourselves, without all of Starfleet hearing about it.
I trust you had a good reason for withholding this information from Captain Riker.
This information will send a shockwave through the entire fleet. I'm sure Spock will agree. It should be compartmentalized on a strictly need-to-know basis. I have more research to do. So do you. I'm sure the ship's computer has Sun Tzu in its library. Dismissed.
It's the automated Federation warning buoy. Transmitting the disable code Captain Riker provided.
That was unpleasant. Commander Ermont, what are the conditions of our systems?
All internal systems operational.
Commander Westbrook, what are your scans of the planet?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
No sign of this outrageously powerful Takan being?
I'm running a magneton scan now, but so far, nothing.
Where are you? Prep your way, team. We don't know if Portal 6-3 will cooperate. If he's not an asset, he's an enemy. So be ready for anything. Prove you're worth keeping alive for a little while longer.
I cannot stop this ship any more than you could stop the tides.
Not good enough.
The impotent threats of a lower life form do not sway me. I will not bend to you. I was born 600,000 years ago. But a new age dawns today.
Are you the scion of the flame?
My name is Zan Utlosa. I was born in the final days of the Age of Makto. And we are all scions of the flame. Every one of us who have traveled across the bridge of time to be here for the Great Awakening. We have all sworn ourselves to the cause.
Eventually, one of you will break.
You don't understand how overmatched you truly are. This craft was nothing before we imbued it with the speed required by our mission. And the Cartabula produces enough energy to drive an entire fleet of ships like this one. But when we wake the Aphelion, we won't need a fleet.
The Aphelion?
Only then will you understand the might of the Takan Empire. Reborn in this time. This is just a drop in an ocean of power you cannot even imagine.
You're just stalling and we don't have time for this. Is this a Philion worth your life?
Come on! This goes from bad to worse unless you do what they say.
It's coming alive.
You can't stop the ship.
Then he will. Or we cut off his hands and use them ourselves.
The moment I reduce speed or change our heading, the others will know. First, they'll just resume course from elsewhere. Trivial matter. And then, they will come here. For you, this is a dead end.
But wouldn't you want that? You take the ship off course, your friends come here to your rescue. So why are you warning us?
Because I value my own life. When my fellow Scions come, and they will come, I expect you'll all act like the savages you are, and a battle means you. You've all died once. I don't intend to do so again. I won't touch those controls. If you want to get us killed, do it yourselves.
You fear death. There's a way to stop this ship for good, and he knows how. He just needs more pressure.
What kind of pressure?
We heard him. He'll talk. Trust me.
That's against Starfleet protocol.
You're not on a Starfleet ship. Your protocol does not apply. We take the action that will lead to our victory. Don't assume your moral code takes precedence above all others.
I get the impression you know how to make people talk. Think you can break his arm?
No, don't!
What the hell, Carter? We don't torture people. Did you forget what uniform you're wearing? What it stands for? This isn't like you.
I just hope Kapoor didn't feel that.
That doesn't make it better.
I have only just begun.
Stop, please! Wait! The warp cores. Our technology is amplifying the ship's output, and it still relies on the warp cores to provide plasma to the engines. Disable those, and the ship grinds to a halt.
Sabotage.
This display is for all life forms on the ship. This is where the infiltrators are, the central artery of ship systems. Sensors, propulsion, weapons. And this is engineering.
It's deserted.
If I can get us there, can you cripple my ship? Not something I'd normally ask, but I'm coming around to it.
I got this. I'm an engineer. This is my territory.
Then we'll follow your lead.
This plan of yours has one problem. It strands us. Left out of the fight when there is a war going on.
Our fight is here, now. This is how we do the most good. For the Empire.
For the Empire.
So, Carter, you didn't beam out after all. I thought you'd escaped when we boarded. I had almost hoped you'd made it off. And Millie's there with you too, right? It's good you two are together. I know you're here, Carter. Your technology is so simple to us. You're not a fighter. I know it. You know it. That's why you're hiding. Somewhere on this ship. But the Takan Empire has so much to offer you. Think of all the knowledge lost for 500,000 years that you'd have access to. I know you want more from life, and I want to show you what you could be a part of. Not just the wonders you've already seen from us. In our time, we had the power to move stars. Carter, you have a thirst for discovery. And a part of you would remain to experience the things I can show you. But if you try to fight it...
You have Miranda's voice, but you're not her. and you don't know me.
Of course I do. I remember... well, I remember everything. I remember us. So I'll just explain the reality of what you're up against. Every one of us on this crusade has fought wars more brutal and consuming than you could fathom. But I want to reach a peaceful resolution to this. Carter, we have a plan for you. And for the others, too. We don't want to have to destroy you.
You think there's some sort of compromise to be had here? After all you've done? The only end of this is when you surrender.
After all we've done? You can't think we'd give up now. We can continue this conversation in person. I'll see you on the bridge very soon.
Her comm badges. She's tracking our location with them.
If we have to use force to free our fellow Scions, there will be casualties.
We can't stay here. And we need to disable the transmitters.
Where'd you go? You don't want to talk to me?
She's trying to keep you talking.
I mean, I get it. But I'm trying to help you.
Got it.
Mine's done too.
Time to hit the road.
You've forgotten something. They know where we're going.
Set to stun. You're not going to shoot a guy who's unconscious, are you?
You keep getting in my way.
You already broke his arm. What more do you want to do?
I want to eliminate loose ends.
And I did that for you.
You know what? You can argue on the way. Now let's move it.
Our coordinates match the exact location where Riker met Portal 6-3.
Unlike Riker's team, we beamed down without a problem.
It's quiet.
Portal has to know we're here.
If he won't come to us, we'll go to him. Spread out. Burn marks.
The report mentioned phaser fire being redirected toward these strange crystals.
It also mentioned Portal calling down lightning bolts.
Better keep our guards up.
Already gave it a scan. Dead. Whole planet feels like it's been turned to stone.
Doctor?
Commander, keeping an eye on those duridium levels? Good. Last thing we need are your cells destabilizing on a hostile alien planet.
These crystals are dormant.
Riker's report said they were glowing, that they served as energy collectors. It could be a good sign they're inactive. The Guardian of the Takan doesn't have his guard up.
Anything unusual, Commander?
It's all unusual, to be honest. We've precious little data on this planet, so brief was Captain Riker's visit. Anything he didn't see himself is a total unknown.
We deal with unknowns all the time. Part of the job.
I'm accustomed to dealing with the unknown from my station on the bridge.
If I recall right, Geordi LaForge transported in here, hanging upside down.
I guess we're lucky we were spared the indignity.
This is where Portal 6-3 projected his image.
He was guarding this bridge. That has to mean something.
We'll move forward when you're ready, Commander.
Follow me. Ends here. Is it me, or did that path just disappear?
There was a path there a moment ago.
There must be an explanation.
Tetrametric pulses.
Same energy as the other Takan technology.
Most of the crystals appear dormant. What's different about this one?
Readings indicate there's a cavity in the rock right behind it.
We could try melting a hole through the wall with our phasers.
Worth a try. Nothing.
There's gotta be a weakness. Somewhere it isn't totally solid. Whoa!
An illusion.
I'm sure that wall was as real as the rest of them. I felt it.
It's almost like our holodeck technology, but far more advanced.
The crystals must be absorbing the energy from our phasers.
I'm picking up something. A biosignature. It's faint, but it's there.
With me.
Another dead end.
Or another illusion.
Crewman LaRue, if you would.
Devolve to Resolute. Beam crewman LaRue directly to medical.
Is he okay?
He'll live.
Not all crystals work the same, it seems.
Don't fire your phasers at any crystals unless we're sure they're putting out the same pulses as before.
Commander, I may be able to speed up the process. I can now detect many different wavelengths of radiation simply by looking. The Takan radiation is unusual, so I can't quite clear it all up, but I was able to eliminate many of the non-tetrametric crystals. Your tricorder should warn you.
That's an enormous help. Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's my honor.
Tetrametric. Good sign.
Commander!
Look at that.
Trust, but verify.
Indeed.
There's something alive beyond this wall. Based on the data from the Enterprise's records, it must be Portal 6-3.
I'll figure out how to get us past it.
I know you will. The biosignature is coming from this direction. I'm sure of it. But there's no getting through here.
There's always a way.
Aside from the breathable atmosphere, this is a remarkably inhospitable planet. Traces indicate there was once living flora, but it's been dead so long it's practically turned to stone.
From what Portal told Riker, it was an outpost to defend the far edge of the Takan Empire.
Well, it's not that now. Now, it's a grave. We don't have any data about what's below the surface on Delphi Ardu 4. And I don't feel a particularly strong urge to find out.
Then that makes two of us. More crystals. Need a way across. I wonder if this place was always so lifeless. Good. Tetrametric. Better go see what's different.
The way's clear. Good work, Commander.
We'll make sure it's safe.
Incredible.
The plants here are actually alive. Is this the biosignature you detected, Doctor?
No. Not a match.
Tetrametric.
Then it's creating an illusion as well.
Based on the data we have so far.
Only one thing left to do.
Doctor, be ready to beam us out if it turns out we're wrong.
Duval to Resolute. Lock transporter on away team.
Amazing.
There's nothing like this in any Federation record.
The plans.
Barbarians.
It's him.
How dare you disturb me? I'd hoped you had enough sense to leave of your own accord, but here you stand. Fools. In another time, I would have destroyed you and your ship simply for setting foot in this place. Fortunately for you, that time has passed.
Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire. We've come a long way to meet you.
Guardian. I am guardian of nothing. The Takan no longer exist. Don't care to be reminded. If this is why you've come, then you should leave. Now.
I'm surprised you don't know. With your powers, can't you learn anything?
I can. But you should mind your words.
The Resolute's database is being accessed.
The Takan have returned? After so long, how could they? Explain. Now.
Draconian technology made it possible. To enable the transfer of consciousness from one being to another after physical death. We call it bioforming. A group of Draconians calling themselves Scions of the Flame used it to reawaken after hundreds of millennia.
Scions of the Flame?
Is something wrong?
I'd hardly call them Takan. They were a radical faction with beliefs outside the mainstream. Beliefs that lesser life forms should serve as vessels to ensure Takan immortality. You want me to help you destroy them. That's why you've come. You want to destroy these scions.
There is a war looming that could engulf the Quadrant. We want you to help us bring about peace before it gets to that point.
Peace always comes at a cost.
They have an incredibly powerful energy source they call the Cartabula.
These scions have the Cartabula.
And they've used it as a weapon against us.
I will speak with you alone.
What are you... Where are we? Where's my team?
They're safe where we left them. That the scions have stolen the Cartabula is deeply concerning. And to be honest, I'd rather speak with you alone, John of Ryandick. Your colleagues don't know what it means to be the last of one's kind. You and I are remnants of fallen civilizations. The Kobliad, the Takan. One dying, one dead. Our species could not be more different, but we both know the meaning of loss. The others wouldn't understand. It's beyond their ability to comprehend.
But I'm not alone in the Federation. I'm a part of something larger, just like your Takan Empire was.
We are not the same. Tell me, why spend your days away from your own people when so few of them are left? Why live your life working for this federation to which the Kobliad do not even belong? and submit yourself to their authority. It makes no sense. Not by my logic.
The only reason any of my people are still alive, why I am still alive, is because the Federation helped us. We would have been extinct decades ago without the Duridium the Federation gave us. If anything, I owe them gratitude. You told Riker you'd wait until you were needed. You're needed now. We need you.
As much as it pains me to learn the Cartabula has fallen into the hands of the Scions, my services are not up for offer. To be chosen as a portal was to give one's entire self to the cause of protecting the Takon Empire. I left behind everything I know, and now you want me to turn against my own people. Betrayal of my oath, and everything I vowed to protect.
Every Takon that comes back does so by stealing someone's body. They are killing to come back.
What you call bioforming, we thought of as a marginal science. But if these reborn Takon plan to restore the Empire, is that a disaster to be avoided? Takonian technology is so advanced, it could save millions of species currently on the brink of extinction, including your own. And at the price of a small few, think of how the many could benefit. Instead, it sounds as if you are reacting out of fear before you have a full understanding of what's at stake. I don't think you've given this full consideration. You may have more to gain than to lose.
You told me your people didn't use bioforming. That's because you knew it was wrong. Wrong to employ on an individual basis, and surely wrong on a galactic scale.
You are correct. The Takon did not use bioforming on a large scale. That the way these Scions are using it would not have been accepted when the Empire still stood. I'm curious to see these Scions masquerading as true Takon. So I will go with you, and we shall find them. But when we do, I will judge them myself as a guardian of the Takon, to understand their true intentions, for better or worse.
It's certainly your right to make your own decisions. I won't tell you otherwise.
Very well. I'll return.
Commander!
Hold your fire. I'm all right. He's coming with us.
We assumed the worst.
She's perfectly fine. Now then, shall we?
All right. We can beam up your... Do you have any equipment or tools?
Whoa.
This is all I need.
Away team +1. Ready to beam up.
Warp cores. That's interesting.
Redundancy. If one goes down in battle, we can still operate.
Makes this more difficult, though.
This ship can maintain warp with half the cores offline. We'll need to disable 3 of them,
Where are the engine schematics? Power flow routing charts.
We're soldiers, not engineers. I thought you would know what to do.
We understand how to operate it under normal conditions, but not the intricacies.
You're in good hands. We can do this.
I trust that you can.
You at least know where we should start?
This way.
What are we dealing with? Really hot. Makes sense, since they've been producing at max output since we left Hotari space.
No ship can run for very long like that. Not before a catastrophic failure hits.
It's right on the edge. We just need to figure out a way to give it a push.
I bet that console down there could tell us a few things. Whatever we do, we need to make sure the Takan can't undo it.
So we need a way to permanently disable the reactors that won't destroy the ship and kill us all in the process.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Warp core ejection. So the question is, how do we make it happen? The reactor coolant system is operating at emergency containment levels.
It's just barely keeping the temperature in check.
Maybe we can use that. If it gets this high, their system considers a reactor breach imminent. Like we saw on the bridge, all 4 warp cores are operating at full capacity. The safety protocols don't look much different from the Resolute. Breach protection. Reduce output, command override. Cease matter, antimatter flow, command override. Emergency warp core ejection. Computer control.
Even command functions can't override one of the most crucial safety measures.
So the protocol's still active. That's good. Looks like if sensors show a core is about to rupture, the computer will eject it automatically rather than risk a breach.
So we need to increase the warp core's temperatures.
If we destroy the coolant regulators, There won't be anything to keep these reactors from going over.
And it will trigger the ejection. Let's peel these suckers open. I'll take that one.
I'll take the one next to it.
The second you two start dumping cores, the Takan will know we're here.
We'll be vulnerable. Stuck in one place while you work.
We will have to make a stand.
Do whatever you have to do to make sure we have the time to finish.
Anything?
Anything.
We'll barricade the door. Work quickly.
We might not have our tools, but our phasers can do this in a pinch. We better get this right. If we foul it up and this whole thing goes boom... We don't know how much damage that Cartabula will do if we accidentally crack it open.
Listen, the best way to make sure something goes wrong is to stress. Keep your mind on the job. We'll be okay.
Yeah, we will. It's not a Starfleet warp core, but the coolant regulator has to be in here somewhere.
There you are. Time to heat things up.
Warning. Warning. Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Okay, now they're definitely gonna know we're down here.
Warp core output at critical level. Ejecting core.
Just one more to go.
They're here!
They're cutting through the door. We don't have much time.
Okay, same as before. We just gotta... Okay, same as before. We just gotta...
Shooting at the matter-antimatter reactor?
I'll cover you.
What? No!
Get the warp core done, or we're all dead. I'll cover you.
What? No!
Get the warp core done, or we're all dead.
Now. No! Shoot! Now! You did it.
You got another way out of here?
I think so. Itasca, can you climb?
I'll see you on the parade grounds of Surrender, my friend. You want me? I'm right here. Not you, too.
Calm yourself, child. It will all be better soon. Wake up, Manka Umet. Return to us. Rejoin the flame.
To reclaim what was lost.
We don't need to watch this.
I do. I want to remember every moment when I make them pay. But this isn't the end. I will avenge Itasca. Swear to me, you will join me in this.
How about we try to save her?
That's a dream.
As long as she's alive and her memories are still in there, there's still hope.
Hope is what you turn to when you have nothing left you can do. And there's still something I can do for Itasca. And I shall.
There's so much I want to ask you.
There's so little I can tell you. I'm a portal, not a scientist, but I'll certainly do my best. I can only assume this is one of your older starships. One would think, given the importance of your mission, they might send a ship of a more recent vintage. But, apparently not.
The Resolute is primarily a research vessel, if that's what you mean. Not a warship.
Although she has been known to hold her own in a fight.
Against what?
Something wrong?
Not at all. The galaxy has grown more diverse since the days of the Tekon Empire.
Because you conquered everyone who didn't look like you.
To the contrary. Most lesser civilizations willingly joined the Empire to enjoy the benefits of an advanced way of life. But that expansion came with its own set of problems, so I admire your ability to diversify without creating conflict. That was always our challenge. And perhaps, ultimately, our downfall.
The Federation prides itself on its inclusiveness. I'd say it's one of our greatest strengths.
As the Vulcans say, infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Interesting. I'd be curious to meet one of these Vulcans. If this is the best you have, then so be it. To locate this scion, Galvan, I'll need full access to your ship's systems.
Full access?
Huh. You must be out of your mind.
No, I'm right here, completely in my mind. Given this is merely a research ship, I won't be able to find him without it. Perhaps I should have made that clear up front. I'll need to make certain modifications.
I can't promise anything, but let me see what I can do.
Just know, without it, I won't be able to help you.
This isn't gonna fly.
I'll see you on the bridge. Captain Solano, I'd like to introduce you to Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Tekon Empire.
Pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Likewise. I can't say I've ever met a portal before. There is no modern equivalent. Not within the Federation, at least.
I've learned it's a very prestigious position in Tekon society. Or was, I suppose. Not just anyone is selected for the role.
And fewer still are suited for it.
How impressive. You spent 600,000 years at your post. That certainly takes an uncommon level of dedication.
We all have our duty.
Of course. But I'm curious. You were stationed there in preparation for what, exactly?
Any and all threats to the Empire.
An empire that no longer exists. Which suggests you weren't very successful.
You said you needed my help. I didn't come here to be insulted. Perhaps that was a mistake. I'd be happy to return to Delphi Ardu at any time.
You'll have to forgive him. I'm sure he meant nothing by it.
I know exactly what he meant. His disrespect speaks for itself.
I'm merely curious where your allegiances might lie. And clearly it's with the Tekon.
Yes, Captain. You have found me out and exposed my true loyalties. To the Tekon, not to the Scions of the Flame, who do nothing more than tarnish us in name and reputation and don't deserve to be called Tekon. That's why I'm here. And if you'd be so kind as to give me access to your ship's systems, we can get on with it. And you can stop wasting my time.
Access to our systems? That's completely out of the question. Tell me that's not what you promised. We're vulnerable enough as it is. And now we're supposed to give him access to everything? Ridiculous.
Captain, I know it's a risk. But right now it's our best shot at finding Galvan and that ship.
Now I understand your reluctance. I never imagined offering to help would be met with such ignorance, bordering on incompetence.
If you're not enjoying your visit to our ship, we'd be more than happy to let you wither away back on your pathetic little rock.
Captain?
You clearly do not appreciate the magnitude of the threat the Scions pose. So myopic is your focus on your own ego. I will not be leaving until they have been found.
Commander Rydek, a word.
And to think, I waited 600,000 years for this.
You realize that's supposed to be in an incredibly difficult position. I was against seeking him out from the start, but now, to give him access to our systems? It's insane. And you somehow expect me to believe his allegiance is with us? You heard what he said in there. There's no way we can trust him.
I might otherwise agree, but you're missing the most important point. He's a Takan, and he may be loyal to the Takan, but not to the Scions of the Flame. He's against everything they believe in. You heard what he said.
There's too much at stake to be wrong on this.
We sought him out for a reason. To help him find our missing crew, Galvin, and those Elydian ships. This is the plan we agreed to with Ambassador Spock.
Which I never liked. But here we are. You know what this mission means to us. Not just for the Federation, but for me personally. I can't afford another screw-up. Losing the shield algorithms was bad enough. This could be the end of my career.
I'm sorry, Captain. You know I support you, but millions of lives and the future of the Federation are at stake here. Both of which are more important right now than your career.
It's not just mine. It's both of ours.
Then so be it.
I'm going to trust your instincts on this one. I just hope you're right. For both of our sakes. Let me know if you find anything.
We're good. You may begin.
I will, of course, have to make a few modifications.
What kind of modifications?
To find Taconian technology requires Taconian technology. If this Scion Galavan modified his ships, then I must do likewise to yours. The galaxy is nearly infinite in size and complexity. This may take a moment.
How long will
I
it
found
take?
something. There you are.
What is it? Galvin?
Someone is using Taconian technology. I can't get the precise bearings, but it's located in the Palisades cluster.
I'll let the captain know. Rydek to Solano. I think Portal may have located Galvin.
I'll be right there.
I'm getting all kinds of interference. Almost impossible to lock on the energy signature.
Where's he hiding?
In the Palisades cluster.
Interesting. Can you lock in on the location?
Not until you get me closer.
Lieutenant Handar, set a course for the Palisades cluster.
Aye, Captain.
Well, I suppose I owe you an apology. You were right after all. That's what I get for questioning the advice of my first officer. You always have my back.
They say the true measure of a leader is being able to admit your mistakes. So thank you.
Next time I'll do a better job of listening. Nice work. Let me know if you find anything more.
Will do. What's wrong?
I didn't want to say anything until I was certain. But the reason for the interference is simple. There's a Taconian device on this ship being used to block the signal. Whoever planted it was exceptionally clever. They knew how and where to hide it. But they have underestimated my abilities.
Engineering.
Take care of the Taconian device, and I can find Galvan for you. It's designed to interfere with all transmissions, or at least delay and confuse the effort to find Galvan's ship.
Hold on. My understanding is that Takan technology requires a Takan to operate. Is there another Takan on this ship?
The Scions could have someone on the ship, doing everything they can to stop us from finding Galvan.
Don't worry, I'll get this fixed. We're going to find that ship. Engineers would have found this device already if it wasn't well hidden. Better to rely on my tricorder. There's a lot of noise in here. I should scan the device putting out the most radiation to filter it out. That's better. Most other radiation sources in here are well contained. There's definitely tetrametric radiation nearby. But even with the gain boosted, it's getting drowned out by other sources of radiation in here. A little bit of harmless radiation leakage here, but enough to mask the tetrametric pulses. Easy enough to cancel out. There's still something drowning out the tetrametric radiation. I need to find it so I could filter it out as well. Jeffrey's tubes thump harmonics from all over the ship. I'll filter that out. There we go. I'm getting a clear tetrametric signal now. Found it.
Excuse me. Do you belong here? Commander Rydek. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was you.
Paul. Calloway, right?
Yes. You know, it means a lot that you remembered. What, are you doing back here? I don't mean to pry, but first officers don't usually go digging around engineering compartments.
Sorry, it's not something I can go into.
Right, of course. Forget I asked.
There is one thing you can help with. Have you seen anyone else in here recently that might seem out of the ordinary? Maybe someone who doesn't work in engineering.
Not that I can think of, but I can ask around. I'm here almost all the time, but maybe someone else noticed something?
That would be great. Just be discreet about it. I don't want anyone to be alarmed.
Discretion is my specialty. Oh, I'll leave you alone already. Oh, come to think of it, that Hotari woman was down here earlier with Dr. Duval finishing the last of the bioscans.
Tylus?
That would be out of the ordinary, right?
Thank you. Maybe Tylus saw something. Tylus, can I speak to you for a moment?
Of course. Is something wrong?
There's something happening. I may need your help. This is important.
How can I help?
When you were in engineering with Dr. Duval, did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Or anyone?
Not particularly. Why?
I found this, hidden in a compartment down there.
That's Draconian technology. Does that mean there's a Scion on board? But Dr. Duval bioscanned everyone. Every deck, every crew member, I've seen the logs. She couldn't have been more thorough.
We have to trace every contact, starting with engineering, which is where the device was planted.
At least that narrows the list. But we still have to go back quite a while.
Whatever it takes.
It could be anyone.
That includes both of us.
You want me to get scanned? Better to know for sure, right? I'll admit, I was around the Scions as much as anybody.
You don't have to do that. I trust you.
If it makes you feel any better, it's not me, I promise you.
I know.
But that doesn't mean it's not you.
Okay.
Clear.
Don't sound so surprised.
You spend plenty of time with the Scions as well. You never know.
Let's get to it. The search starts in engineering. Whoever planted the device most likely did it within the last few hours. So I'll start by running a scan, tracking everyone who came through engineering over the last day, in reverse order.
This could take forever to sort through the number of people that were in engineering.
I'll filter out the duplicates.
That helps.
Filtering for outliers. People who don't work in engineering.
Now this is manageable.
Cross-referencing this list with everyone who's traveled to Hotari. Let's see who's left. No. This can't be right.
What?
Of the people that went to Hotari and visited engineering, it could only have been Captain Solano.
According to this, he was here while you went down to Delphi Ardu 4. Which would have been the perfect opportunity. And no one would question him. He's the captain.
He fits the profile for the kind of people the Takan want to bioform. People with authority that can lead to them gaining more control.
Like Galvin? The Queen?
The captain of a Federation starship. What happened when Dr. Duval bioscanned Captain Solano?
That's just it. She never did.
How is that possible?
Something more urgent would always come up. There was nothing she could do. But performing a bioscan is the only way to be absolutely sure.
That's not going to be easy. First thing I need to do is get this device to Portal.
Be careful. And good luck.
I'll need it. I've found the device.
interference is gone. I have located Galvin's ship more precisely. He's in the Usonia system.
So then it worked.
This whole region was one of the most sacred for the ancient Takan. What many consider the birthplace of our civilization. See these comets and planetoids in the outer orbits? Based on their current trajectory, that's Galvin's destination. And legend tells us it's the location of what was once our largest arsenal. Not that we needed it in the late stages of the Empire, but it was there as a precaution nonetheless.
We have to somehow intercept him. How long till he arrives?
Oh, he's much too far ahead of us. We'll never arrive before he does. If Galvin and the other Scions secure the arsenal, they will become extremely dangerous. My people had such power at the height of the Empire. The Takan were as gods, keeping absolute control over countless worlds. I must speak with them directly. However, the presence of this device is worrying. It's highly likely it was placed here by a Scion, hidden among your crew, and it is unlikely this interference device was the Scion Saboteur's only trap. If we reach Galvin and the Saboteur cripples your ship, we will be at their mercy. Even my powers will not be able to protect us. Do you know who it is? They may well do more damage if left alone. Time is not on your side.
I'm fairly convinced they bioformed Captain Solano.
I knew there was a reason I didn't like him. That explains it. Bioforming was so rare in the time of the Empire that I am not able to detect if it has taken place. Proof of your claim is something you will have to produce yourself.
Then we have to bioscan him. I'll talk to Dr. Duvall.
That's quite the claim. Told me you were worried about him. But I never imagined this was what was wrong.
I wouldn't be asking you if there was any other possibility.
That would explain why Solano has been too busy for a bioscan lately.
As the ship's doctor, you have the authority to declare him unfit to serve.
If you're right, this is the worst-case scenario. Challenging your own captain is a tall order. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you fail, that's it. The end of your career. Maybe your life.
I am. I have to be.
Good. You know what this is going to take. I'm in. But we can't pull this off with just the two of us. I technically have the authority to make Solano undergo a scan, but in reality, he can and will refuse to do it. We need at least another member of the senior staff to support your claim. Or this could all blow up in our faces. You better think long and hard about who you can trust.
Down to one reactor. I thought we'd be stopped dead. At least stuck at impulse power.
The Takan enhancements must be able to brute force limited bursts of warp output.
Yeah, but they won't get to wherever they were headed at this rate. They're just limping along now.
So where does that put us?
Maybe I can answer that. I got the ship's heading.
They've changed course. Drastically.
Looks like they're headed here. Usonia system. They might stop there.
Can we use the Zeldi's comms to signal your fleet?
The comm systems are locked.
Grab hold!
Oh!
The inertial dampeners can barely keep up. If they keep forcing this ship to make these short warp jumps, they're going to tear it apart.
Zeldi is still made by a Lydian hand, despite all this Takan corruption. Whoa.
We just gotta stay safe until Starfleet can find us.
Your people. Is there somewhere you go when you die?
Life after death? No. On my homeworld, some people think they can cheat death in a way by joining with the Trill symbiont. But that's not a life to me.
What about you? Is there another plane of existence for you? With every passing battle, as I get older, I think about it more.
I think there's just no way for us to know what happens after we die.
Really?
Maybe there's something more, maybe not. But I can't discount the possibility. You can't prove a negative.
Then maybe you can understand this. My people have a special journey. When Lydians die, we rejoin our comrades, family, and ancestors.
On the parade grounds of Cirella?
That is just one part of it, but yes. Death is not the end for us. So, even if some part of Itasca remains, by letting the Takan use her body, at best we are delaying the inevitable next step for her. At worst, we are leaving her as a prisoner in her own mind. You want to save the transformed. So do I.
Now that I've seen it happen, does it make me a hypocrite to say he has a point? What if we can't get them back? We can't leave them like that, right?
I think Itasca would want to be released. To think of what she could be going through right now. It's a torturous idea.
What you're talking about is mercy. And that's an honorable goal.
That seems easier to live with than being driven by revenge. I had a sister, a twin. It's very rare among the Trill.
You never told me that.
She was one of the youngest hosts to ever join with the symbiont. A sentient creature that lives in our body. It's considered a great honor. The symbiont can bring centuries of knowledge and wisdom to the host. But sometimes, the symbiont personality suppresses the host entirely. My sister was the closest person in the world to me. I knew she would be different after joining. But she drew more and more distant. The room we shared growing up was foreign to the both of us. And eventually she, or whoever she'd become, cut me out entirely. So I left for Starfleet and swore I'd never go back. I couldn't stand the thought of seeing her. Someone who looked like my sister. Sounded like her. But wasn't.
So, losing Miranda like this, it opened an old wound.
Never really closed up in the first place.
You remind me of Itasca.
I do?
Bonds are not made by what runs through your veins, but the blood you spilled together. Itasca was my family in that way. I want you to know there is nothing I won't sacrifice to win this fight. But if we're lucky enough to survive, I'd be honored if you'd count me as one of your tribe. As Itasca was.
Even a couple of engineers like us?
You are many things.
I don't need to wait that long. We've bled together. No one else will know what we've been through. That makes us a tribe. Right here.
I'll take that.
They not cease this madness.
What is this place?
Is that the Veskar?
Another one of yours?
Not anymore. They've corrupted it, just like the Zeldi.
Now there are 2 ships. Did this just get better or worse?
It certainly doesn't bode well for the crew of the Veskar. So many lives stolen.
We're really at the heart of this fight now. We just gotta figure out what we're gonna do about it.
This doesn't look like the Ophelia. What are they doing here?
You don't think they're just meeting their buddies?
Maybe, but then why are their buddies here?
Prepare for transfer.
The storm! It's back! What happened?
Hold on. Scanning. Metric radiation is dropping. The Zeldi's dropped to minimal power levels.
It's running off just the one warp core now.
That means...
They've sent the Cartabula to that other ship.
Something wrong, Captain?
No, nothing's wrong. In fact, I was just going to call for you. I'm needed down in engineering. The bridge is yours.
Lieutenant Bedrosian, a word, please.
Yes, Commander. What can I do for you?
Listen, the captain may have been compromised.
What?
I have every reason to believe he has been bioformed and is now actively working against us.
Hold on. This makes no sense. Did Portal do something to you?
I'm dead serious. Someone is sabotaging the mission. They planted a Taconian device in engineering. Captain Solano was in engineering while we were on Delphi Ardu 4, and he purposely evaded Dr. Duval's bioscan. He's not Captain Solano anymore. He's a Scion.
Which would make you Captain. So you're saying you're taking command of the ship? Because if you are, that's one hell of a bold move. And you better be absolutely sure you have your facts straight.
With your help and your backing, yes, I have to.
I'm not signing myself up for mutiny.
I have Duval's support. We're going to ask the captain to undergo a bioscan. When he refuses, I need you to back me up.
I've already sacrificed a lot for this mission. I hope to have a long career, one just like yours. We do this, we could be thrown in the brig, stripped of our rank, or worse. Is it worth risking everything on your hunch? I haven't been a bridge officer for very long. I don't want it to end before it even starts.
I don't know what might happen, but if I can, I will protect you. I'll tell them I forced you into cooperation, that it was all my idea.
I won't make you take the blame alone. So, my answer is yes. I'm with you no matter what. When do we act?
Now. Dr. Duvall is already on the bridge.
All right. I'm ready.
It's now or never.
Captain Solano.
Commander Rydek, we need to talk about... Doctor? What brings you to the bridge?
Just a bit of housekeeping. You owe me a bioscan, Captain.
I don't have time for that right now.
It will only take a moment. I can't put this off any longer.
You can, and you will. All you'll find is that I'm quite reasonably under stress given the circumstances, and you aren't making it better. I'll find you in sickbay when I'm good and ready. Or, if you're gonna stand in the way of the mission, I can find you in the brig instead.
It's merely protocol, Captain. All officers that touch alien soil have to be bioscanned.
I know the protocol. It's not more important than chasing down these Draconian marauders.
Commander Rydek is right, Captain. We all have to follow the rules.
What is this?
We need you to comply with the scan, Captain.
That's enough. Drop this. All of you. I'm giving you a direct order, Commander Rydek. Stand down and go back to your post. Now. Do not make me tell you again. I've been a starship captain since before you were in the Academy. I won't stand for this.
I'd follow that order, if you were actually Captain Solano.
Well then, there's only one thing left to do. Security to the bridge. Arrest Commander Rydek. Take her to the brig.
On what charge?
Conspiring with the enemy and mutiny.
Get back. Give her a chance to speak. Let's hear what she has to say.
That's enough, Lieutenant Bedrosian. Step aside or you'll join her in the brig.
No.
This is not Captain Solano. He's been bioformed. He's a scion.
You're out of your mind.
She can prove it.
He sabotaged our efforts to track Galvin with this. He planted it in engineering while we were down on Delphi Ardu 4.
Lies! Perpetrated by the only Takan in our midst, Portal 6-3. He's actively trying to divide us from within.
Captain Solano has refused to be bioscanned because he knows it will reveal he's a scion.
Take her to the brig or I'll do it myself. Oh!
Wait! Stand down! That's an order!
What is the meaning of this? Everyone hold until we get answers. This cannot happen on the bridge of a Federation starship.
I can prove I'm right if you just give me a chance. If I'm wrong, then I will face the consequences.
If you're wrong, there's no coming back from this.
I'm going to settle this once and for all.
Commander Rydek was right. Captain Solano has been compromised.
He's been bioformed into a Takan.
As the Chief Medical Officer of the USS Resolute, I am relieving Captain Zachary Solano of command.
Take him to the brig.
I don't know what I expected, but not this. I can't believe I shot the captain. I don't think Starfleet likes it when you do that. Even when you're right. It doesn't look good.
If it helps, that wasn't really the captain.
I mean, intellectually, sure. I understand that. But he looks and sounds exactly like him. I'm not sure I'll ever get that out of my head.
Set course for the Usonia system. Maximum warp. It's time to face Galvin.
Yes, Commander. Sorry. Captain. On your command.
Engage. Stations. Shield status.
Set to maximum, but with the algorithms compromised, they may not do much.
Captain, that other Ilidian ship is here.
The Zeldi?
We're outnumbered.
Captain, your orders.
Evasive maneuvers.
Aye, Captain.
The Veskar's warp engines are powering up.
Our warp engines are offline.
That must have been their goal. They didn't want us to chase the Veskar.
According to my readings, they also took the Cartabula with them.
They're not breaking off. We have to destroy the Zeldi before it destroys us.
Diaz and Edsalar still over there?
They'll need to evacuate.
Come on.
Almost have it.
They gotta know we're here. Hurry! You got it?
Got it! Diaz to Resolute!
We read you, Diaz.
This is Ermot. It's good to hear your voice. Is Edsalar... is she with you? Everyone wants to know.
She's right here. She can tell you herself.
I'm not dead yet.
Very good, Petty Officer.
Get us out of here?
I can't transport you out while the Zeldi's shields are up. Phaser fire won't even get through. Is there another way off that ship?
We'll find a way.
Whatever you do, you'll have to be quick about it, because we can't give you much more time. We can't evade the Zeldi forever.
Understood. Diaz out. We're gonna have to get out of here the old-fashioned way.
Lydian ships have no escape pods.
We can leave out that cargo bay we transported to before. But then there's the vacuum of space to contend with.
Those freight containers. Maybe we could use those to make an escape pod?
Is that even possible?
We're gonna make it possible. Unless you have a better idea.
Let's go.
I've polarized the hull plating. That should allow us to take a few more hits. Enemy phaser impact dissipated.
Heading, Captain?
Attack pattern Beta 3. Circle around that asteroid and come back firing.
Aye, Captain.
Zeldy, in range.
Fire!
Zeldy's shield's down to 82%.
We're doing damage, but they're hitting us right back. We'll run out of hull before we penetrate their shields.
Perhaps I can be of assistance. I can modify your impulse engine to amplify their meager output and avoid more of their attacks. But I will need full access to your propulsion system.
This goes against dozens of Starfleet regulations.
It's not a security risk if the alternative is destruction.
To me, it's simple. You can take this beating and hope you can weather it. Or will you put your trust in me? I've left everything behind for you. The least you can do is put your faith in me.
Commander Ermot, give Bortle access to the propulsion systems. You're going to have the ship in your hands. Don't let me down.
This will take a moment.
Your ship has let up its fire.
That gives us some time.
All right. One of these freight containers should do the trick.
Be quick.
We need one big enough for all of us to fit inside. Something we can make airtight. Damn it, not this one.